Okay, we should be live, everyone. Um, we're gonna wait a little while for everybody to join in to see the stream. Let our people from Discord have some time to come in. In the meantime, let me introduce my co-hosts today, as every week. To my right-hand side, Ben Sparham. Welcome on the show.
We're doing?
Underneath me, Bruno Perinelli.
Hey guys.
And to his right-hand side, Jake Torres. How are you doing, guys, today?
Hello, everyone. Doing
All
great.
right, thank you.
For you watching, please let me know in the chat if the stream is working well, if you can see us, if you can hear us, if everything is as it should be. In the meantime, we're gonna slowly get started. So as per usual, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a look at what were the most important events of the previous week. So starting off with you, Ben, what kind of week did we have in the European markets?
Well, for me personally, I had a pretty quiet week. So after we'd had the week before, which was full of high impact macro data, Fed speaking, all sorts of things going on, basically. I had a pretty quiet week. There wasn't a huge amount of news coming out. Markets were kind of calming down after a volatile week, basically. So it was pretty much a prime example of the fact that as traders, we have to always be very strict with our process in making sure that we always follow our routine, we always check markets at our regular time, go through our analysis. But then it's very important to understand and remember that sometimes there just isn't going to be anything there. So rather than trying to force something, it's very, very important to make sure you stick to your strategy and make sure you're following the rules that give you an edge in the market, basically. So it's been a pretty quiet week for me. I'm not sure about the other guys, but for my strategy personally, it's been a bit of a quiet one.
Do you have any tips for traders, what to do during a quiet week?
So personally, what I've always found is a good thing to do is, go back, spend the time basically when there's not as much going on, going back through your trading journal, trades that you've taken, have a little look, see if there's anywhere that you've maybe made some mistakes, if there's any patterns that you're recognizing on, things that are popping up a lot, maybe either in winning trades that you're having or losing trades that you're having, just really working on refining your edge and your strategy. A lot of people just kind of spend time aimlessly staring at charts effectively, which, as we know, is pointless. Eventually you'll talk yourself into a trade that just isn't there. So it's very, very important, I think, to use the time wisely and use it on refining your edge. Go back through your journal and see if there's anything you can improve on from previously. So that way, when you go forward into the following week or the next time there is a good setup, you're really on top of things, basically.
Thank you very much, Ben. Thanks for the input. Bruno, were the American markets any more busy than the European ones?
Not quite. I mean, it's been a quiet week. I mean, the stronger than expected NFP last Friday was the main driver of the forex market, or financial markets in general. But then some statements by the Fed members may have caused some movements, but not as much. It's been quite a quiet week.
Thank you very much. And Jake, how's the Asian markets?
Overall, of course, the entire market, Asian, London, and New York session was affected by the a quiet environment from the market. Probably the market is still digesting the numbers, that a very big surprise from the NFP last Friday, which is 500,000 plus, which is far beyond the analyst maximum expectation, which is only 300,000.
So what has been the...
And during the...
Sorry to interrupt you. Please continue.
Yes, during the Asian session, I think the most notable event during the last February 7, which is of course, the RBA interest rate decision. They just delivered as expected. They hiked by 25 basis point. But if we digest, if you analyze the statement from the RBA, from Governor Low, they are more hawkish now compared to their December meeting on, of course, on their interest rate decision. And I posted it to have a context. I posted it in our Discord channel regarding the release of the interest rate from the RBA.
Wonderful. Thank you, Jake. So, as you traders heard, we did have a quieter week than the one before. Although that doesn't mean that you can't make it a successful one. You know, as Ben pointed out, there's a lot of work on yourself that you can do. That would be the perfect week if you have things that you want to improve. You know, to get mentoring sessions, and exactly in those weeks, spend time with people who know what they're doing and learn. But now, moving forward, we need to look what's going to be happening in the next week. So, Ben, what can we expect in the European session over the next week?
So there's two main real things that I'm focusing on for next week. The first being GDP data for the Eurozone, obviously getting an idea of how the sort of economy is dealing with things at the moment. Are we expanding? Are we contracting? What's the overall strength, if you will, of the Eurozone? And I'm also going to be watching very closely the CPI data that's coming out in the US, because of course, you know, that correlates with a lot of things that's going on in the Eurozone, and just getting an overall gauge of where the market's at the moment with the central banks across the world really raising interest rates and trying to battle inflation. So it's going to be really interesting to see how the economy is holding up and how that inflation data is really continuing from there. So I'm going to be watching things closely, things like euro, dollar, etc., and paying close attention to how those markets shape up heading into those headline news events.
Thank you very much. How about you, Bruno?
Well, as Ben mentioned, the prices will be in spotlight. The CPI and the PPI will be released on Tuesday and Thursday. So market consensus expects consumer prices have accelerated in January. So that would definitely affect the Forex pairs, especially the ones that are related to the US dollar.
Thank you very much. And Jake, what should traders watch out during the Asian sessions?
Basically, I'm still focusing now on the Japanese yen, especially that lately we saw this huge market price movement from the Japanese yen across the board. And this is because of the, just today, there is from the Japanese government that they are nominating, I don't know if I pronounce this correctly, Oida to be the next governor in the BOJ, and we saw immediately as soon the news hit on the wires, we saw the Japanese yen strength, because if you go back before, Oida is a hawkish. He has a hawkish outlook with the, of course, with the BOJ. But currently, during his speech today, he also sounded more dovish, just shifted. That's why we saw some shift from the Japanese yen today, from being a strong currency, now it becomes so weaker. And as part of our currency on our watch list, currency pairs, the CHF yen, which we are bearish, we are looking for next week for the CPI from the Swiss franc, from the Switzerland. And if we see a negative number from the CPI, that is, we can use it as a catalyst to short the CHF Japanese yen to the downside.
Thank you for the information. So if you're interested in that, definitely catch Jake's sessions. It's every third day of the week at what is it, midnight here in the UK, right? And that's going to be that for this week of recap. Guys, if you want to spend some time with our mentors, head over to our main page, and there you can get those mentorship sessions. In the meantime, thank you guys very much for the information on the previous and the upcoming week. And with that, we'll leave you all viewers to have a wonderful weekend. And those of you that are watching it on the Monday morning, have a successful week.
Take care, guys.